often chaotic and nonstop. By the time I locked up my laptop each evening, my brain felt like it had run a marathon. The one thing I valued more than anything was my quiet nights at home. My place in Phoenix wasn't extravagant, but
Bro, that's a nice house though. No, you cannot downplay that house. You got a balcony. One, two, three. You got four windows. I don't know what this is right there. No, you got a nice house. You can't downplay it, brother. You can see that nice little moon. Got a nice house.
it was mine. A two-story house in a suburban neighborhood that felt secure and predictable. Until that October night, I had no reason to question that. It was a Thursday, the kind of evening where you sink into the couch, finally letting the silence wash over you. I'd finished a long day filled with client meetings and emails, and I was looking forward to nothing more than binge watching my favorite show with a glass of wine. The house was quiet, the kind of stillness you only appreciate when you're truly alone. I didn't realize how fragile that peace was. At around midnight, just as I was considering
Is that a box TV? Brother, come on, you gotta update, brother. You got this nice crib. You could get a flat screen, brother. Come on now.
heading upstairs to bed, my phone buzzed. It wasn't a call or text, but a notification from my home security app. Backdoor alarm triggered. My first thought was that it had to be a false alarm. These systems were notoriously finicky, and it wasn't the first time it had gone off for no apparent reason. I opened the app, saw the alert, and without much thought, deactivated the alarm. Probably a bird or something, I muttered, convincing myself it was nothing. I climbed into bed.
Why didn't you check though? If you like, okay, it's not okay. What's the point of having that type of security if you're not going to be observant and you're not going to want to check your stuff and stuff like that? Come on.
The sound of the air conditioner lulling me into a light doze. But then I heard a muffled thud. My eyes snapped open. At first, I thought it might have been the wind knocking something over outside. Phoenix wasn't known for wild storms, but gusts weren't uncommon this time of year. Holding my breath, I focused hard to listen beyond the sound of the AC. Then came another sound. This one wasn't vague or easy to dismiss. It was like the scrape of something heavy being dragged across the wooden floor downstairs. My chest tightened as a dozen rational explanations ran through my head, each one less convincing than the last. I slid out of bed and quietly locked the door to my bedroom. My mind raced through what to do next. I'd taken precautions. Every door and window had sensors. My phone was connected to the security system, and I even kept a firearm in the bedside drawer. But none of that felt particularly comforting now. The idea of someone being in the house felt like a violation I wasn't prepared for. Another noise, this time sharper, like a chair being knocked over. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911. I whispered my address to the dispatcher and explained what I'd heard. They assured me officers were on their way. I added, "Please tell them not to use lights or sirens. If someone's inside, they'll hear it." The dispatcher's calm tone was both reassuring and surreal. She stayed on the line as I retrieved the gun from the drawer and positioned myself in the furthest corner of the room, the phone balanced on my knee. Every second felt like an hour. The creaks and groans of the house had taken on a sinister edge, as if the walls themselves were conspiring against me. I heard faint footsteps on the stairs. My grip on the gun tightened as adrenaline surged through my veins. Whoever it was wasn't rushing. They were taking their time. I could barely breathe as I listened, my mind conjuring images of who could be on the other side of the door.
So far, he been playing this real good though. Like he's a bit more. His situation is different compared to the other two stories, but he's been playing it really good though. Right, he's been playing it really good. Very smart, strategic.
Was it one person? More? Suddenly the footsteps stopped. Silence. The kind of silence that's louder than any noise. Then a quiet knock on the bedroom door. Not forceful, just a soft knock. My hand trembled as I aimed the gun at the door, willing myself not to panic. The dispatcher's voice was still in my ear, steady and grounding. "Officers are almost there," she said. A minute later, I heard movement outside, the sound of car doors opening and
She said no. The nigga, bro. I mean, excuse my language. Dude said no sirens. He said no sirens. He said no sirens. Come on, y'all.
closing, followed by muffled voices. The police were here. Relief flooded me. There was a commotion downstairs. Shouts, the sound of something heavy hitting the floor, and then silence again. Finally, a voice called out, "Phoenix PD, it's safe to come out." I opened the door cautiously, gun still in hand, and stepped into the hallway. An officer met me at the top of the stairs, his expression serious but calm. "We've got them," he said. "2 men. They were downstairs when we came in." My
What are they
knees nearly
doing?
buckled as I followed him to the living room. 2 men sat handcuffed on the floor, their faces grim. One of the officers explained that they'd entered through the back door, which they'd managed to unlock somehow. They said they thought no one was home because there wasn't a car in the driveway, the officer added. Then it hit me. I'd lent my car to my brother earlier that week while his was in the shop. To these men, an empty driveway meant an empty house. The police searched the house and found a crowbar and zip ties in the men's bag. One officer pulled me aside and said, "You did everything right, locking yourself in the room, calling us. That probably saved you tonight."
Bro, that was a good story, bro. Make sure y'all drop a like, comment. What the freak? Make sure y'all drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And